Magic Knight Rayearth or Florin am Florin 1/4 to the first, Mahou Kishi Reiāsu, is a Japanese manga series created by Clamp, an all-female manga artist team consisting of Satsuki Igarashi, Nanase Ohkawa, Tsubaki Nekoi and Mokona. Appearing as a serial in the manga magazine Nakayoshi from the November 1993 issue to the February 1995 issue, the chapters of Magic Knight Rayearth were collected into 3 bound volumes by Kodansha, and published from July 1994 to March 1995. A sequel was serialized in the same manga magazine from the March 1995 issue to the April 1996 issue, and was published by Kodansha in 3 bound volumes from July 1995 to April 1996. The series follows 3 8th-grade girls who find themselves transported from modern-day Japan into a magical world, where they are tasked with rescuing a princess. Rayearth combines elements from the magical girl and mecha anime genres with parallel world fantasy. The manga was adapted into 2 anime series in 1994 and an original video animation in 1997. Plot: Magic Knight Rayearth focuses on 3 8th-grade girls, tomboyish and headstrong Hikaru Shido, the quick-tempered no-nonsense only child Yumi Ryuzaki, and intelligent and ladylike Fu Hawaji. While on a field trip to the Tokyo Tower with their respective schools, the girls find themselves drawn into another world, Sephiroth. There they learn that Sephiroth is influenced by one's will and that the pillar maintains Sephiroth through prayer. The girls are then tasked with rescuing the current pillar, Princess Imode, from her abductor, the High Priest and antagonist Zagato, after which they will be returned to Tokyo. Guided by the creature Mokona on their quest, the girls discover their respective element-based magic and awaken the 3 rune gods, who can take the form of giant robots that the girls must pilot. As the girls progress on their journey, they overcome their differences, learning how to work together and accept each other as friends. After the girls find and destroy Zagato, they finally reach Imode, but they learn that she had fallen in love with Zagato, which had hindered her ability to pray solely for Sephiroth's well-being, and imprisoned herself as a result. Feeling responsible for her actions, she summoned the Magic Knights to kill her, as no one from Sephiroth could harm the pillar. Her dark side then takes over, seeking to destroy the Magic Knights for killing her love. After a short defensive fight against Princess Imode, the Magic Knights have no choice but to kill her. They then find themselves transported back to Tokyo. The second part of the series deals with the complications caused by Princess Imode's death. Set a year later, it opens with the 3 protagonists struggling with their guilt and despair over their role in her death. Meeting again at Tokyo Tower, they find themselves transported mysteriously to Sephiroth again, and discover that only a single piece of Sephiroth remains, which holds a castle where the survivors gather to take refuge. With the pillar gone, Sephiroth is, for the most part, defenseless, and the girls are saddened to learn that a new pillar must be chosen by the pillar system before the whole planet is destroyed. 3 warring planets begin their attempts to conquer Sephiroth: Autozam, a technologically advanced world which intends to use the pillar system to remove the pollution in its air. Farron, whose childish ruler Lady Asuka plans to turn it into a world of her whims. And Chista, an overpopulated world whose sibling rulers Tatra and Tata see Sephiroth as a potential colony. As the Magic Knights help defend the castle, they each agree that the fate of the planet should not be the responsibility of only one person, which, like Princess Imode, effectively prevents that person from ever being able to live and love freely. What's more, they are certain that when a new pillar is chosen, something may eventually hinder them from praying solely for Sephiroth's well-being, cause them to summon new Magic Knights to kill them, and bring Sephiroth to near destruction again until a new pillar is chosen, much like Imode, which would cause the cycle of events to continue endlessly. Some of the survivors believe this idea as well, particularly Lantis, a powerful magic swordsman and Zagato's younger brother, who wishes to end the pillar system for those reasons. Eventually, Mokona narrows the candidates down to 2, Hikaru and the sickly eagle vision of Autozam, who is friends with Lantis and, as such, wishes to end the pillar system for him with his eternal sleep. As the 2 undergo the test to become the new pillar in a recreation of Tokyo, Mokona reveals itself to be the creator of Sephiroth and its laws, which it had created after sadly witnessing the violence and destructive nature of the people on its earlier creation, Earth. It was responsible for bringing the three girls back to Sephiroth. In the end, Hikaru becomes the new pillar of Sephiroth, and brings Eagle Vision back to Sephiroth with the help of Fu and Yumi, against Mokona's insistence that only one may return. Hikaru then rebels against the pillar system, decreeing once and for all that the fate of the planet should not be the responsibility of one person. Mokona accepts their decision and leaves with the three Mashin. The manga concludes with the three girls return to a new Sephiroth to visit their loved ones, as they work with the rulers of the other planets to solve their planet's problems, and contemplate Mokona's wish to allow the three protagonists to bring change to Sephiroth. Differences in the anime adaptation. The first season remains mostly faithful to the first arc of the manga aside from the inclusion of the original character Inova and a multitude of subplots, but the second season shows a rapid departure. Most notable differences are the creation of two anime-only antagonists, Nova and Lady Debonair, who were born from the intense despair of Hikaru and the people of Sephiroth respectively after the death of Princess Emerald. It is also revealed by the rune gods that the girls were summoned back to Sephiroth by their own will, most notably Hikaru's, as her strength of heart also allowed her to become the new pillar, a position she rejects in a similar fashion to the manga. Development. During the celebration of the publication of the Soyuden novels, which Clamp had illustrated, the group was asked by Hideki Yamaguchi, editor for the Japanese shoujo manga magazine Nakayoshi, to do a series for the magazine. The editor-in-chief wanted a story that could appeal to elementary readers and older, while Clamp wished to bring in younger fans. Without direction from the editors, the group decided on a series combining robots, as they were fond of robot anime. Role-playing games, which saw popularity in Japan at the time. And fantasy, to counterbalance the robots, which they thought alone would be off-putting to their target audience. According to Ohkawa, the magazine's success with the magical girl manga Sailor Moon made it possible for the group to pitch a serial with robots to its editors. A friend of Clamp, illustrator Takeshi Okazaki, created the Rayearth part of the title, while Ohkawa thought of the rest. At that point, Clamp had completed a basic idea of the plot. For the names of the characters, they drew on car names, feeling that they would be interesting and memorable for children, who might otherwise have difficulty learning the names of characters in katakana. The inclusion of giant robots gave the artists some difficulty, as the massive scale of the robots made it impossible to depict the characters and robots in the same frame. The artists also omitted the cockpit of the robots, to show their faces instead. Greatly anticipating the ending to the first part of the series, Clamp found the protagonists' initial adventures in Sephiroth really easy to create. Ohkawa noted that, had their target audience been older or male, they would have considered stopping the series with the conclusion of Part 1. The second part, however, proved difficult for the group to create, as they felt as if they had written themselves into a corner. Magic Knight Rayearth explores fate, grim destiny, and sacrifice, as do many of Clamp's works. According to Ohkawa, who believes in choosing one's fate, humanity's fate is caused by one's actions. Sephiroth is merely an exaggeration of Earth. Media. Manga written and illustrated by Clamp, Magic Knight Rayearth appeared as a serial in the Japanese magazine Nakayoshi from November 1993 to February 1995. Kodansha collected the chapters in 3 tankobon volumes. The first was published on July 22, 1994. The last was released on March 6, 1995. The sequel also appeared in Nakayoshi from March 1995 to April 1996. In 1997, Tokyopop licensed Magic Knight Rayearth for an English-language translation in North America, and serialized it in its manga magazine Mig-Zine. The English version of the manga was at first issued in a flipped left-to-right format, but was re-released in the original right-to-left format in later editions. The English version of the manga also at first continued the volume numbering through the 2 series, such that Magic Knight Rayearth 2 volumes number 1-3 were numbered as volumes number 4-6. It would appear that Tokyopop has lost their license for the series, as Dark Horse Comics announced at their San Diego Comic-Con International 2009 panel that they would be publishing the series in a new omnibus edition in honor of Clamp's 20th anniversary. Dark Horse published the omnibus editions from July 6, 2011, to April 12, 2012. The series is also licensed in French by Pika Permil Edition. Magic Knight Rayearth. Magic Knight Rayearth 2. Anime equals. The anime series aired first on Japan's Yomiuri TV on October 17, 1994, and ended on November 27, 1995. It was directed by Toshiro Hirano and co-produced by Yomiuri TV and Tokyo Movie Shinsha. The anime had 2 seasons, lasting 49 episodes altogether. The TV series was licensed in the US by Media Blasters and was dubbed by Bang Zoom Entertainment. It was released on both VHS and DVD. On November 21, 2014, Discotech Media announced they have licensed the TV series and will re-release the series on DVD in 2015 and on Blu-ray in 2016. OVA. A 3-part OVA was released in Japan a few years after the end of the manga and the TV series. The OVA was named simply Rayearth, and its story was quite different from the original. The characters are all the same, but the relationships, places and events changed radically. In the OVA, Hikaru, Yumi and Fu are already friends who go to the same school and will soon be leaving for high school. Suddenly, a strange fairy appears in front of them. At the same time, strange monsters and wizards start to appear in the city of Tokyo. One of them is Clef, who tries to guide the 3 girls in order to let them become the Magic Knights, awaken their machine and fight against the evil wizards from Sephiroth, who are trying to invade the human world. In this version, Furio, who is a sorcerer under Princess Emerald's command, is not her brother. Eagle Vision fills that role instead, as well as being the main antagonist after he tricked Zagato to commit suicide in order to bring upon a false balance to Sephiroth. His ties to Autozam are non-existent in this version, as he is a citizen of Sephiroth from the start. He would put a spell on Emor to convince her that Zagato is still alive, so that the sorcerers of Sephiroth can continue to exist on Earth as the 2 worlds would soon merge and each sorcerer would battle against the Magic Knights. Lantis is also introduced right away as being an ally to the Magic Knights and against Eagle's plans. The only other characters that are in the OVA are Ascot and Elchion, with none of the other characters are featured. The OVA is licensed in the US by Manga Entertainment, who opted to use a different New York-based voice cast for its English release, which was produced by Skipilot Entertainment. Theme songs Opening themes. 3 opening themes were used in the series and 1 in the OVA. Rayearth, Magic Knight Rayearth, Episodes 01-20, Unyielding Wish by Naomi Tamura, Magic Knight Rayearth 2, Episodes 01-22, I Can't Hate You by Amy Nakamura, Episodes 23-29, Still Embracing Light and Darkness by Naomi Tamura. Media Blaster's early English DVD release used Hikaru Takeijo de Kishimoto Mama as the opening for Magic Knight Rayearth 2 Episodes 01-22. The original openings from Episodes 01-22 were included as an extra on the early DVDs, and was only in Japanese. However, this isn't the case with the remastered sets, in which the dubbed openings were removed, meaning all 3 openings are left intact. Ending themes. 3 ending themes were used. Magic Knight Rayearth, Episodes 01-20, The Courage Leading to Tomorrow by Keiko Yoshinari, Magic Knight Rayearth 2, Episodes 01-22, Lullaby, Let Me Embrace You Tenderly by Minako Honda, Episodes 23-29, It Will Shine Someday by Keiko Yoshinari. Media Blaster's early English DVD release used Rarabayu Sashikata cassette as the ending for Magic Knight Rayearth 2 Episodes 23-29. The original ending from Episodes 23-29 was included as an extra on the early DVDs, and was only in Japanese. This again was eventually rectified in the remastered sets, in which, like the openings, the dubbed endings were removed, meaning all 3 endings were left intact. In the early English releases of the TV series, Sandy Fox sang both the opening and the ending themes in the English dub version. Rayearth, OVA All You Need Is Love by Naomi Tamura. Video games equals, a number of video games have been released that are based on Magic Knight Rayearth. Magic Knight Rayearth, an adventure RPG set in the first TV season, was released for the Sega Saturn. It was the last officially released game for the console in the US. All other games based on the manga were released exclusively in Japan, including a Super Famicom role-playing game, a Sega Pico title called Magic Knight Tanjo, 2 short RPGs for Game Boy, a racing sim, and another RPG for Sega Game Gear. Reception: Magic Knight Rayearth had been well received by English-language readers. According to Dark Horse Comics, almost 200,000 copies of the series have been sold in the United States. The first volume of Tokyopop's re-release of Magic Knight Rayearth 2 placed 44th on the list of the top 100 best-selling graphic novels for February 2004, with an estimated 1,446 copies sold. The first volume of Dark Horse's Omnibus edition appeared at the 83rd place of the list of the top 300 best-selling graphic novels for July 2011, with an estimated 1,069 copies sold. The second volume placed 109th on the list for April 2012, with an estimated 942 copies sold. References: General, Clamp. Magic Knight Rayearth 1 €3. Los Angeles, California, Tokyopop. Clamp. Magic Knight Rayearth 2 1 €3. Los Angeles, California, Tokyopop. Specific. Further reading: Divers, Alon. Procrastination is a State of Mind, TT. Anime News Network. External links: Magic Knight Rayearth at Dark Horse Comics' official website, Magic Knight Rayearth at Anime News Network's Encyclopedia, Magic Knight Rayearth at Anime News Network's Encyclopedia, Magic Knight Rayearth at the Internet Movie Database, Magic Knight Rayearth at TV.com, j-pop.com Review of OVAs, an America Review.